Hello, welcome to another episode of Cranial Diarrhea. I am Tiff.
And I'm Dad. Nothing spectacular today. And we're back from vacation. Aren't you
Mhm.
glad to be back?
No,
No.
no.
Did you have a nice
I
vacation?
did have, I mean, it was, yeah,
Did you enjoy yourself?
I did.
Get some relaxation, some sun, fun, all that stuff. That's good. So we are doing we are going back to old style today. We're just going to talk about a topic.
Hmm.
So today I kind of came up with a topic and I kind of sent it to you last minute, but I want to talk about some of the stuff you see on TikTok.
The TikTok.
Because as an old person, I don't really do that. But here recently, I've been watching a few of the things on there, and some of it is pretty funny, and some of it's like, wow. Like, there's this guy on there. It's a 73-year-old guy, and I can't remember his name, but y'all check him out. And, like, I don't know if he does it daily or weekly or something, but he gets on there and he's dressed in his kind of workout stuff, and he's like 73, today's weight, it's like 240, 245, whatever it is, and then he like does this bench press like 245 one time or something, and I'm like, for 73 years old, that's impressive. I mean, I know it's a push-up. If you're weight 245 and you don't seem very impressed. But to me, that's impressive.
Like,
That's 73
is
years
that like
old.
stuff that is that what you're into? Just watching old dudes work out?
No, I just
Just
saw
seems a
it.
little concerning.
It does sound so bad. No,
That's what the algorithm is bringing you. There might be a
no,
problem.
I just saw it one time, and like now every once in a while, if I get on there, his like new one will where he does another way. I just thought it's
He's getting on
74.
every day. Like, let's see how much Papa's
Yeah, let's see what
lifting
Papaw's pushing.
today.
But I just thought that was impressive. You just had to go down there. I should have known with you. I should have known that was coming. But I just thought it was impressive. I mean, it's 73, and you're still bench pressing your body weight. That's pretty impressive to me.
There's one that I love that it's this girl and she's at the gym and she's like, one of those, right? So she gets on her phone and
What,
she's
what,
like,
what do you mean by one of those?
oh, you'll know as soon as I tell you what it
Oh,
looks
okay.
like. So she gets on her phone and she posts this TikTok that says, it's blah 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 time and I'm at the gym where you at, right? And then somebody stitched it and said,
And what does stitch mean? I don't know what that. I don't know that term.
okay, so they show that video and then they comment on it or
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So that's what that's for. Okay.
so she goes, it's blah 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 whatever time and I'm on the couch eating snacks. Like so funny. Like
That's,
that's
that
my
is
yeah.
pretty fun.
These are my people. Like
So while I'm watching an old man workout, you're watching a girl eat snacks. Okay, I get it.
I'm eating snacks.
But there's another guy on there, there's a long haired guy, younger guy, and all he does is like he comes on there and he goes, "It's something, something, something. Go to the effing
Oh
gym.
yeah, I've seen
Go
that
to the
guy.
gym."
I've
I'm
seen that
like,
guy.
I mean, I
Yeah,
guess it's motivation for people. I guess. I don't know.
I've seen him. I'm not motivated to go to the gym.
My favorite videos, of course, you're going to know this, are the ones where people, the guys that walk around with like the fart machine, that makes the sound, and they're like walking down the street and they go, and then everybody,
Shocker.
yeah, big shocker. And the baby goats. Have you seen the baby goats on there like dancing to songs? Those are cool. It's like little baby goats, and they're
Are these
dancing to
all
songs.
like coming across your For You page?
I don't even know what that is. I don't look at it very much, but I
So
just
when
like
you get
open a
on and you're
video.
watching videos, are you watching videos under the follow section or under the FYP?
I have no earthly idea. I just open the app and then
You
just
don't click
look at.
anything, so it's your
No,
FYP, which means the algorithm is bringing all of these things to
but
you.
those little goat ones are cool. And then there's the one guy I like. I like watching this guy. He's always talking about like donuts. I wish I could remember his name because he's starting to do live stuff, whatever that means. But he's like,
He's going live on
he
TikTok.
always ends it with like ding ding or something like that. But he's like, this is a chocolate donut. It helps you get your energy up for the softball league or something like that. It's pretty funny actually. That's the kind. I mean, that's what it's for, right? Entertain. I don't think I could do
Yeah,
it
I
for
think
hours though.
that's yeah, it's for entertainment. Some people use it as for political or
Right, all
you
of
know,
that stuff.
there's a large portion of it that use it for business. Like they have businesses that they're promoting on
That's what
TikTok
is
and
that. Here's the thing that gets me is you see like it looks like it's a TikTok thing, but it says sponsored, and it's like for insurance or something. I guess that's what you're talking about. That's how they do that.
No, these are like so when you see that and it's sponsored, that means that someone like a business has paid this person to make a TikTok about their product.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm talking about are the people that have their own small businesses and they post about like there's one that I've been watching from like day one and it's I don't know why I just it's this girl that has this crystal shop, okay, and she's got this crystal confetti and I don't know what's so satisfying about watching her refill this crystal confetti, but I was like hooked, line and sinker, right? Like
Isn't that wild? Like
yeah. But anyway, she uses her TikTok mainly to promote her business.
oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to look. I don't get on it that much. I couldn't spend a lot of time on it. It gives me a headache watching it. I don't know why.
Or
It
I
just
could,
does.
you know, if I'm gonna get on TikTok, I have to make sure that I have like a lot of blank time where I'm not responsible for
No, really.
anything.
So
Because
you
I
kind of
just,
get
yeah, I get it. I just scroll and scroll and scroll. And in fact, there are people who make TikToks now that say, "Hey, you've been scrolling for a while. Why don't you take a break?" And I'm like, "Thank you,"
yeah,
because
and
I
I
have
mean,
been on here for a long time,
isn't
just
it?
scrolling.
But it is wild how that kind of takes your time without you even knowing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, and now I will say this: some of the stuff out there I don't care for because it's actually mean. I mean, some of the things they
Hmm.
do is mean, and then I don't care for the mean stuff. But like the dancing baby goats, that's funny.
Yeah, like I
You
like
know, I,
I when I get on an app, like I'm not.
or like
I don't want to hear about politics. I don't want to hear about how
right,
I'm
no,
racist because I'm white, and I don't want to hear like I just want to laugh, and I just want to, because it's generally me trying to unwind
right. It's just an escape.
or I'm on the toilet. So let's be
Well,
real.
it's an
Like,
escape. I mean, let's just be
yeah,
honest.
for real. And
It's just an
I just
escape.
don't want, I don't want heavy
There's
material. So,
one guy, an older guy, and he does. I can't think. I don't know any of them's name, but he wears a shirt that says "We're all stronger together" or something like that.
yeah.
But like he's in a grocery store and it says like when your jam comes on, he starts jamming and singing. I mean, it's
Mm,
funny stuff. I mean, that kind of stuff is. I get that. That's
yeah.
funny. But some of the stuff I don't get, like especially the political stuff. That's one of the reasons, to be honest with you, I kind of quit getting onto Twitter a lot because everything is political on there,
Very much
and it's
so.
so divisive and it's so
It
unnecessary.
was I think I mean, it was bad before.
I think it's always been bad. Maybe I just didn't realize
Yeah,
it.
I'm not, I wouldn't say always, but I think it feels like to me the past, I don't know, 12 years or so that politics and the way it's dividing people and it's become, I've noticed it more. And
Right.
I don't know if that's because I'm an adult now and like I have to pay attention to those
Right.
things. But I've noticed it more in the
I think
past 12 years or so.
I think politics has become more divisive because we don't have the individuals in office that would kind of cross the aisles and work together.
Well, I think
I think
the real issue here is that we can't have conversations.
right. That's what I mean. Crossing the aisles. I think
Yeah.
my thing is when you spend that much money to get a job that pays what it pays, there's there's just way too much there. I mean, I just like to be honest with you, and I am totally going blank of the gentleman's name, senator, ran for president a couple of times. He was what I would call the last true statesman of somebody, and I don't know everybody out there. There's probably more now, but that somebody would actually that would work across the aisles and try to find that common ground.
Hmm.
I don't think we have a lot of that now from either
Mm-mm.
side. I really don't.
And it's
And
become a little less about doing what needs to be done for our country and a little more about
keeping power.
when I have the power, I can,
Right,
you know.
right. And I think to me, and I think the way, I mean, let's just be honest. I'm sure life has always been tough as an adult. I'm sure we see it now and we think it's tougher because it's what we're going through now. But I'm sure it's always been tough. But people have always needed an outlet, and that's one of the things I've kind of found in TikTok is just getting 10 minutes to laugh at something goofy.
Yeah,
And I
you know what?
think,
I think on the flip side of that, on the other side of that coin, social media and the availability of social media has really pushed this disconnect
yes,
into this full force thing because prior to that, it you you didn't have your keyboard warriors, you didn't have your trolls, you didn't have people getting on and you know if somebody was speaking hatefully, it wasn't
right.
broadcast to every
It
like
wasn't anonymous
it
like it can be
yeah
now.
well and it not only that but it wasn't so far spread like you some guy in Michigan says something awful and you don't hear about it if you're
Right.
unless you're know
Well,
the guy, you
I
know,
think
but now
that's
it's everywhere.
and I
And
think that's why a lot of our young people face a lot more struggles than what, like when I was a teenager, we didn't have all that out there. So I think it's a lot more on them now
I
with that.
think we didn't really eat, like, when I was growing, we were kind of on the, we're kind of like 1 foot in here, 1 foot
Right.
in
You're that
here.
fringe where it
Yeah, we're
started.
like kind of right in the middle of the two, right?
You still do some things the new way with technology and
Yeah,
some
like
things
I
the old way.
remember what it was like before all this stuff. And because I was raised in the time that I was, I grew up learning how to do all these things that the generation before me may not have necessarily,
Right.
you know what I mean? And
And
that,
now the generations after you are even more advanced in technology. But here's
right.
the thing. I think these generations that are more advanced in technology have become less advanced in social growth because of the aspect of always being on a device and not having that
They
human
are,
interaction.
yes, socially stunted.
I really think that that social interaction is a major part of growing up and just, being part of society. And I think now a
Mhm.
lot of people like, you hear people, well, I have 400 friends on Facebook. Okay, but how many of them do you really see?
Yeah,
How many of them are
yeah.
true friends? You just, and I get it, it's a different world. And maybe that's the new socialization.
I,
I don't know.
I hope not because it's easy to, I don't want to get political, but it's easy to divide us when we're not,
Yes. I mean, it really
when
is.
we're singling ourselves out because we're not leaving our bedrooms
Well,
or, you know what I mean? It's easy.
here's the thing: as humans, we all want to be part of a family or a group or some. You want to be belong, right?
Yeah, it's
I
our
mean,
instinct to,
right. And a lot of people are finding that belonging in different groups on social media instead of in communities now.
mhm,
So I can
mhm.
kind of see that where it does kind of create more walls, I guess, around people, become more isolated.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, and of course, I'm of the older generation, so of course I don't think that's a good thing. But I mean, what do I know? I'm not an expert in that
It
field.
depends on where we're going, right?
It kind of does. It really kind of does. It really does depend on where we're going. I
Because it
mean,
seems like now, like you've got way more people that, even going to work, right? It's you're not
yeah, they're working from
leaving
home,
home and your interaction with people is limited
right? And that
anyway,
relationship's not there.
right? And
And
I think the pandemic scarred like a lot of people.
I think, to be honest with you, I think the pandemic is something we still have not recovered fully from. And I don't want to blame stuff on the pandemic, okay? Because I realize that was in
No, but
2020.
it gave us all,
Well, I think
I
just
don't know.
the setbacks in the I don't know if maturity is the right word, of the younger generations through socialization and aspects of community involvement and all of that. And even with our age and older, I mean, that whole aspect of being out in the community and socializing
Mhm,
kind of came to a halt. And if you
mhm.
look now, majority of people are back out doing
Well,
things,
I,
but very cautiously.
I have to say, during that whole pandemic, like my the other side of my family, we weren't getting together, like, because
Right. I mean,
we
yeah.
we had, older people, and you don't
No,
want to kill
right.
grandma.
Right.
Um,
Grandma got ran over by the COVID.
yeah, but it damaged us.
I mean, honestly, think about this because even the relationships you have with family during COVID
Hmm.
was kind of separated for a bit.
I don't know. I was still hosting get-togethers at
I
my
mean,
house.
yeah, I get that, but I mean, I'm talking about with like older generations, like you may not. I mean, did you ever consider? Well, I might be sick. I'm not going in on that old person now.
Well, I mean, you do that regardless, right?
Right,
Like if
right.
somebody's really like they're peeking around corners, as they say. Um, like you're like, oh yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just
Again, don't want to kill
even
grandma.
with COVID, that becomes heightened.
Yeah.
There was times with COVID where it was like we were calling. I mean, we would call. I would call and check in and stuff.
Hmm.
But if one of us was sick, we weren't going around the other people.
Mm-mm.
You just didn't do that.
And I think that as the older generations, um, it definitely changed the way that we did things. But I think that we were like, whatever, this too shall pass, whatever. But for the generation that's coming up right now, just to having never been through anything
Right.
like
I was
this
going to say this was
before.
their first major pandemic.
Yeah, well, not only that, but it was their first major anything.
Right. Yeah, it was seriously.
Let's be honest. So, and for it to be handled the way it was, where you can't leave your house, you can't go to school, um,
Well, the isolation portion of it, yeah. I mean,
and
you're
then you're
dealing.
like, if you're on social media and you're hearing things that aren't true, and you're seeing things that are really very scary and not, you know, validate. I mean, not validated, but you know what I mean. But
The total facts are still out. Let's just say that on
it,
what you're saying. It's
yeah, but you have to take things at face value, and you will at that age,
right.
right? So that like that whole thing was just terrifying, and I think because of that, not only are they socially stunted, but they're also,
They're kind of emotionally scarred, I guess.
yeah, like they're very timid. They don't want to engage. They don't, it
Well,
was a big deal for them.
right.
But it's crazy because your generation went through some shit. My generation,
Yeah,
like,
but it was
my
handled.
God.
But it was handled differently on all levels back then. And I'm not saying anything about. I'm not getting the political side of it.
Well, I think,
I'm just saying
yeah, no, I
it was
agree. But
handled differently.
if
And
you look at it, like, especially what I am, right? I'm an early millennial, okay? Like, every time something happens, my generation, we're like, can we just not anymore?
right.
Because we've had so many major disasters and terrorist attacks and we when we were graduating, we were in one of the worst recessions,
Right.
and it like we have to go out and
Well,
you know what I mean?
and here's the
Like,
thing.
what?
See, I'm from the generation
And
where
our parents are just like, get out, do it.
I'm from the generation where, jeez, I'm from the
Yeah,
generation where get up, rub some dirt on it. You're fine. Let's go.
yeah.
And that's not.
Well, apparently my mom was too.
Well, that's
I literally I moved out of my house before I graduated high school. I was out on my own. I found my own way to graduation. And that's just
but
what it was. And but now
now
my kid is my okay. She's gonna be 18 in December. Mentally, not mentally, physically. Mentally, we are not prepared for the outside world,
we'll get there. We'll
and I
get
do,
there.
I don't know. I'm like I'm gonna have to pull what my grandparents did and just buy another house and just give her that one. Stay there. No, don't come with. Don't come with. You stay here.
You're saying here.
Stay. Yeah.
I'll be back on Friday to check your groceries.
But it's
but
my fault, and I think,
but I think part of that is this the generation now is what they faced and how everything was handled
yeah, I
and the isolation aspects. They haven't had that growth opportunity that previous generations had as far as
well, no, they're
getting out into
scared.
the world. Right. That's what I'm saying.
They're
You know, getting out.
scared.
Oh, I'm not saying right or wrong.
But
I'm just
my
saying.
father-in-law had a similar conversation um, about how everybody on, like my sisters-in-law and I, um, we're not great about not coddling our children. And he was like, "Oh, this generation." I said, "No, I don't think it's a generational thing. I think that us, in just us. I'm not saying this in a broad spectrum, but like, just us, my sister-in-law and I, like our childhood our childhoods were less than stellar. Okay, they were not great. We are broken." And so I think that it shows in the way that we have parented
I,
because we've coddled, we've sheltered.
see, I don't know if it's that.
I think it's that.
Every generation says, this next generation. I just don't know. But they always come through. I just think the development and growth of the generation of granddaughter's generation, I think they're a little behind. I think they
Oh.
will catch up, and I think they will get there, and they'll be productive members of society. I think it's just
No,
a
I feel that too. Um I just don't I don't she's not ready. I don't think she's ready. I don't think she's at that maturity point, and I a part of that is my fault, but
I will.
also a part of it I think is just where we are as a
Right,
society.
and I will say this: I have noticed in the last probably 6 to 9 months, she has really started maturing. It's a process. It's going to happen.
We still have moments.
And well, we all have moments.
Well, I've never thrown myself on the floor because I couldn't find my phone, but
I throw my
it's
phone on the
fine.
floor.
I have done that. I have done that. I've cracked quite a few phones from getting angry and throwing them. Yeah, 100%.
Fastball. There
Yeah,
goes another one.
100%.
Your husband just goes, oh, okay, Amazon order. It'll be here tomorrow.
Let me get on Verizon.
Get another one ordered.
I've gotten better. I've calmed down as I've gotten older. I'm not so quick to
And
anger.
you'll continue to do that as you get older. Let me just
I
say.
don't know. I feel like like I'm gonna be that old lady that no one wants to deal with.
Somebody come up to the door trick or treat, you're gonna kick them off the porch.
Damn hooligans with their greasy hair and Nintendo Wii. You know,
No, you'll mellow out
no,
over
I'm gonna
time.
be, and I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna be like this crotchety old bitch,
No,
and I'm gonna enjoy it.
everyone mellows out as they get older.
I'm gonna,
It's a
I'm gonna have
process.
have like three dogs and
but
dress them in sweaters.
but $3 dressed in
We're
sweaters.
gonna have our portraits taken like J.C. Penney. Like,
Larry Curly. So what kind of dogs are we gonna have in these pictures?
well, they got to be big because if it's not a medium to big size dog, it's a cat, and cats are useless. So
But anyway,
don't
so
tell my mom I said that.
I'm not a cat person
She's a
either.
cat lady. She
I'm
likes
not a
cats.
cat
Not a
person.
cat lady, not like that kind of cat lady, but
I'm not a cat person.
my mother-in-law has she swears she has more, but I've only ever seen one cat. She keeps talking about multiple cats, and I was like, oh, I'm starting to think that maybe she's hallucinating these other
No,
cats.
cats like to hide. They're creepy
I know they like
because
to hide, but I
they like
swear
to
to God, I've
hide,
only seen one
and
ever.
they like to sneak up on you and like pop you in the face or something.
Yeah, we had a cat that would get in the
See,
empty boxes of Mountain Dew can, like the empty, and so he would get in there, right, and you wouldn't know. And when you walk past, there'd just be this little orange paw shoot out and go, "Pah, pah, pah, pah." And you're like, oh! He hid in my husband's work boots too. He likes to do that.
funny.
But we came home one day and all we saw, he had gotten himself in, but he couldn't move. So his back legs and his tail were like, That's when that was like red flag, like something was wrong with this cat, and we just didn't pick up on it.
But cats are really, they're like malicious. Dogs just meet you at the door, wagging their tail,
Well, cats are
barking.
very like
They think they're self-sufficient. Yeah, they got that hotty toddy about them. I don't need
you
you.
call them over and they're like, "Fuck you,
I don't need you.
whatever." But you call a dog, and the dog's like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Did you say my name? Yeah."
We will.
It's funny because my dog, when I come home, or when any of us come home, he immediately like he runs to us because he's happy to see us, but then he stops us and he has to sniff us
To see if you've been around anybody
to see if
else.
we've cheated on him with any other dogs.
Dogs are very
And my
territorial.
father-in-law got him because my brother-in-law and sister-in-law they have a ferret, and so my father-in-law went over there because he was watching their animals while they were out of town, and he came home and he had been handling the ferret. So he came home and he like held his hands out and he's like, go ahead, figure it out. What is it? Figure it out. And the dog was like, what is it? Like you could see the wheels turning in his head, like, what the hell is this
I
smell?
don't know whether to be mad or.
Anyway, that's funny. But yeah, he sniffs us all to make sure we haven't cheated on him.
Yeah, that's funny. And dogs are, I mean, but dogs are very protective too.
Hmm.
Where cats, if somebody breaks in, they're going to go, what? Yeah, whatever, I'm under here. Go ahead.
Yeah. While you're in there, can you grab me the catnip, please?
Yes,
Thank you.
just leave some out. I won't tell
I don't know.
anybody.
I feel like my dog would go straight to the pantry and be like, "Hey, grab me one of these, and you can take whatever you want,
Give,
whatever it
give me a
is."
pup cup and you're out. I'm good.
Yeah. But you want the TV? Fine, take it. Just give me that ice
Give me
cream
that
cup
ice
out of the
cream and I'm
freezer.
good.
Yeah,
Put a sign around his neck. You see it on video.
we'll let you steal for ice cream.
You see it on video. They're opening the pup cup, and he's like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So we kind of went way off TikTok, but that's okay. So I could see Vandy doing that though.
Hmm.
Speaking of Vandy, we're nearing football season again. No, and I told you folks I'm not doing any Vandy jokes this year.
We are. I'm a little
I want your
concerned.
I want your honest assessment. How do you think Vanderbilt's going to do this year?
Well,
What do you
first
think?
and foremost, our stadium is in shambles, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
Oh, is it? They haven't got it
Yeah,
okay?
last I heard, both of the end zones were still torn out.
Oh,
So I don't know if they're gonna just like close off
maybe for construction those
those
ends or
porch,
something.
those ends, and then just play on the field. I have no idea.
I wonder.
But I feel like
I
if
was
you
going to
don't
say,
have
could
a
they
home,
pay the Titans and maybe play on in Nissan Stadium if
I
they're
mean,
still under construction?
we did it once,
How was the
but
crowd for that? Fair.
fair. Yeah, we were playing Ole
I
Miss,
mean,
and
I know it's not the same.
it was a blowout back then because that was when was that? That was Derek Mason, his first year maybe. Anyway, I don't remember, but it was okay. But it's
It's just not the feel of being at home.
no, and I feel like if they do have an issue on that field without a home base, we're gonna struggle a little bit.
Now that brings up another issue. Do you think with all of the changes that the longtime Vandy fans that have like been there and went with generations in the past, do you think that's gonna, I don't want to say affect their support. They're still gonna support the team,
Mhm.
but it kind of changes the atmosphere.
It depends. It
I
depends.
just
For
I'm
me personally, because that program means more to me than football,
right.
it does change for me. Just not like I'm never, I'm not gonna be a Vandy fan anymore. Just it's different. It feels
Yeah,
different.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say this, okay, and I'm a UT fan, everybody knows that. But I really hope that when teams come into Vanderbilt, it is a home setting. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't mean that in a
Yeah,
bad
but
way.
no, I understand what you're saying because we're usually overrun with the O18 fans, and it speaks to where the program has been, right?
Right.
Um, but I think to get the fans in the door, yes, you can invest in money in the facilities and the stadium and the concessions and all this stuff, but and that might attract better players. But at the end of the day, to get fans in the seats, you have to win ball games, and that's
That's
just where
true.
we're at.
But I really think the right coach is in place. I'm seeing more toughness. Now, I will say this: last year, the final game, I was a little disappointed in their performance.
I don't know. I feel like we were.
Or I don't know if it's the final game, the game we went to.
Oh, it was the final game. I
But
feel like at that point they were kind of beaten down.
that's kind of what I'm thinking. I guess I was disappointed that I didn't see the fire that
Yeah.
we'd seen in previous games from
Mhm.
them, especially being a home game. Don't get me wrong,
I think
I was very
you
happy
know
with the outcome.
we're gonna have growing
But
pains.
yeah, it's gonna happen. I mean, that's just part of
Yeah.
it. It is
I
gonna
mean, you're
happen.
when you're rebuilding a program from the ground up, it is what it is. You're gonna have rough games.
Right. And
Did it suck that it was against our in-state rival? Sure, but
but what sucked even worse was the driving rain. That was horrible. We had great
you know, I
seats.
probably could have stayed through the whole thing if it hadn't have been pouring down
Yeah,
rain.
it got kind of miserable.
Yeah.
Plus, it was getting to be a blowout. I mean, let's just be honest. It was what it
And I
was.
waited too long to put on my poncho, so it was like
So you were
pointless.
wet under and over.
It was pointless at that point. And so I just sat there and got.
There seems to be a trend of every time we go to a game, it rains, regardless of where it is.
Yeah, that's why we were like, no more,
Yeah, this year it won't matter. We're gonna
no
be on the
more.
couch. But I mean, I think the right coach is in place. I think he's getting the right coaching staff in place. I think there is this administration at Vanderbilt is showing more
There's
dedication.
there's a there's an excitement in the air.
There is, and I think
Yeah.
rightfully so.
I
Now,
think
am
I
I?
think the other thing too is that because Vanderbilt is Nashville's team, just they are, right? That's where we're located, where we've always been. But because the other team is what it is, we don't have a lot of that fan base, especially in terms of broadcasting. Um, when Vandy's playing a game at home, let's say they're playing a game, they're playing a game at home, you're never going to see it on your local channels. It's always going to be on the SEC network or the alt network
Right.
for the SEC. You're never going to see it. Um, and the local channels will play like, it'll be like Arkansas against Georgia, whatever instead of the Vandy game, you know. And you're
That's
like, and same thing with broadcasting. Like, let's say that you're trying to listen to it on the radio.
see, that's the thing that gets me because the major sports station in the area carries UT, and I understand that.
Hmm.
But does Vanderbilt? I mean, we struggled last year trying to find the game on the way home.
Yeah, and I think that they. Oh gosh, I think I remember seeing something about how they just signed a contract for a partnership with an FM radio station,
Okay, good.
but I don't remember. Like, I can't tell you.
Was it maybe 102? Was it 102.5?
I felt like it was a 101 something,
I think
but I
there
don't.
is a one like a 100.5 or something. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't
Yeah,
remember
I
what
don't
I
know.
just saw it in passing, but um, yeah, I don't. Like I said, you can funnel millions of dollars into a program, but until you win ball games,
You're not going to put butts in the
you're not
seats,
going
so
to
to
put butts
say.
in the seats.
And I mean, and that's true.
I
And
mean, if
until
you look at
you,
our baseball program, like who was going to baseball games before we started winning national
true,
championships?
that is true.
You know?
And here's the thing with the program like that, you got to win consistently. It can't be a
Yeah,
1 year thing.
right.
It's got to be because if it's not, if you have one successful year and then the next year you struggle, everybody's like, oh, same old, same old. You know, here we go again.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think no, I'm not saying by any means they're going to be top of the SEC or anything like that. But I think this year they could become a bowl eligible team.
I think we were close
We were
last year.
close last year.
Yeah.
And
Which
I
is and my philosophy on the whole thing is like if I as long as I see improvement year over year, like I'm good. Like I'm not expecting to see them win a championship. Like I'll probably never live to see that day. But I also want to see them be a contender. I want to see other teams say we've got Vandy on the schedule. We've got to work hard because this is not a
right,
cupcake.
right, and
Because right now
I think
we're
the
viewed as a
first
cupcake.
I think the first 3 quarters of the season that was the case.
Yeah,
I really do. I think Vanderbilt was a team that could beat anybody.
yeah,
I think the last couple of games
I think what happens is we do really well, not really well, but we do well, right? We win the games we're supposed to win.
which
And
is
then we and
which is
then
a big difference from times in the past.
right, and then we get into our the meat of our schedule, and
It's just a
it's
beat down.
Georgia, it's Alabama, it's
Well, it's a beat down for any team. I mean,
100% it's a beat down. And so we come in and we're feeling good about it. We're our team is feeling good about themselves, and then the game is played and you're completely
well,
decimated
it's not
and you're
just that.
like,
When I say beat down, when you have to play teams like Alabama, Georgia, and these teams back to back, you're physically getting
absolutely. And
hammered.
that's the other thing too. I
I
think
mean, you know,
that's what hurts us too, because these teams like Alabama, Georgia, UT, they have these positions are 3, 4 deep.
right? And Vanderbilt's not.
Vanderbilt's not.
That's what I'm talking about.
So our
It's a
players are
constant.
tired.
Yes. And I mean, not only are they tired, but their bodies are not 100%. I mean,
Right. And it's a they're the mental is a factor too.
yes. I mean, and there comes a point where, I mean, I mean, let's be honest. If you've had to hit, you weigh 280, 290, and you're hitting a 400 pounder 4 weeks in a row,
Hmm.
your body's wore down.
Yeah.
I mean, it just happens.
And I think that has a lot to do with it because you don't go to Vandy predominantly to play football.
No, but I think they are making strides.
I think so. I think so. I think if I'm not mistaken, we just picked up a 4-star commit, which is pretty big for
Yeah. Oh,
Vandy.
and
And then the
this,
other thing is
and
too,
I'm
and
not.
I know I've harped on this before, and it sounds like a broken record, but our academic standards are at a point where not just anybody can.
Well, and that's my thing. I'm not saying anything bad about any athlete at Vanderbilt. They're top-notch
Yeah.
athletes. But what I'm saying is, when you face a team that can go 3 or 4 deep, and you can only go 2 deep,
Hmm.
and you face that 4 or 5 weeks in a row, there becomes a time where you just don't have the depth to match up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I mean, if your
I
guys are tired, your
seen
guys are tired.
I seen teams last year where, like, their offensive line, like, a player would go out like 4 or 5 weeks in a row. A different player was going out, and they were just another cog coming in, another player same caliber rolling.
Hmm.
I don't think that's the case yet there,
Mm-mm.
and I think that's something that I think this coaching staff's working on that, but I don't know that that's ever going to be the case.
Right, because we're held back by not held back, but we're restrained by the caliber of student that we can accept. Not athlete, but student.
Right. And also, I think, to be honest with you, with the programs at Vanderbilt,
I couldn't get into it. I'm surprised they let me on campus to watch the games. To be completely honest,
you go to the ticket booth. I need to see your GPA, please.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's not good.
Sorry, you're out.
Wasn't good.
I,
It was like a maybe like a 2. I
I'm
don't know.
sorry. You can watch from the establishment across the street.
You can watch from the parking garage.
Do you have your phone? You can watch on there from your car.
Yeah. Get Hulu stream sports live. You can just
Yes.
go home and watch that.
Yes. Here's the
Can
information
you
for
figure
you.
that out? Here's the instructions on how
Yes.
to.
Here's a sheet with all your.
Yeah.
Oh
Because
man.
there was one year, our quarterback was literally in school to be a brain surgeon.
Well, that's like the.
That's why he quit because
I'm trying
he
to
had a
remember
concussion and he was like, "Oh no,
the quarterback from Tennessee that just left that went into the NFL. No, the one before the one, or was it this one? Was actually a rocket scientist.
yeah." Oh man, what
A
was his name?
smart kid,
What was
great
his name? What
athlete.
was his name?
I'm drawing a blank. I don't know
I
why.
could see his face.
I can too. Very intelligent young
He's
man,
in the NFL now.
great athlete. Yes, he's in the NFL now,
He
and
had
I cannot.
alopecia, right?
Uh, I'm not sure.
Alopecia,
Possibly
it means you
the
lose all your
yeah,
hair.
possible. Yes, I think so. But
I can't remember his name.
brilliant young man, great young
Yeah,
man, and why can't I not think of his name?
I don't know.
But
I
anyway,
can't either.
I mean, he was actually a
But I know who
rocket.
you're talking
Yeah,
about.
he was a rocket scientist.
I think was it that kid that your O line was like, I don't know, maybe it was the kid after him. The O line was just like not protecting this kid. Like I don't know if they had like a vendetta.
Now this the kid I'm talking about.
Because
He was
even
very.
even my father in law was like, listen, if I was that quarterback, I would not come back because the that O line just obviously does not like him
Well, I think it wasn't that. I
because he was
think
getting
what
sacked
happened
like
was
30 times a game.
I think when this quarterback I'm talking about got injured and was out, I think this other quarterback has a slightly different style in the line. It took some time for the line to adjust.
Either that or he said something to piss him off.
Watch out, do the watch out blocks.
He came back the next year and I was like, ooh, he's brave.
Better watch out.
I hope he like bought him gifts or something.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It really be like Tom Brady buys his
'Cause
own
that
line
kid
new
got
cars.
sacked like 30 times a game. It was crazy. I was like, they hate him. They do not like him.
I think on that level, I don't think you get a lot of what we used to call watch out blocks. Like if the running back or quarterback kind of irritated you, you'd do a watch out block where you'd be like, watch out.
Yeah.
I don't. And then the coach would chew you a little bit, and you'd laugh and all about your business.
I swear Jimmy and I both were like, that kid did something to piss him off. They're not happy with him.
But
They're like, maybe if
it's.
we get him killed, we can
I think
get
both
someone
teams.
else.
I think both teams are going to have a pretty decent year this year.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee had a really good year last year. I think they'll have a successful year this year.
I
I think
think
there's
it's
going to be
gonna,
a little
you
bit of
know,
growth.
it's gonna be interesting how the season works out because we're adding two new teams.
Is that this year? I was thinking it was next season.
Pretty sure it's this year.
Oh, okay.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah,
2023.
I thought it was 2024, but it may be
I don't
2023.
have
You're
my
probably
phone. I
right.
can't check,
You're
but
probably. I have mine. Let's see. Let's find that out. You're probably right.
it's gonna add
For
some.
some reason, I was thinking 2024.
You may be. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember, but
When does Texas join the SEC? Texas and Oklahoma will depart the Big 12 for the SEC after the 23-24 academic year, 1 year earlier than originally planned.
okay. So
So it'll be next year.
next year. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's what threw me because they released the 2024 schedule and they're on it. So maybe that's what I was thinking. I don't know.
They'll join their new leagues July 1st of 2024. So they'll be there in time for football season.
That's interesting.
And that's going to be.
I don't love. I think it was Texas that was already talking shit about Vanderbilt.
Well, both teams coming in are going to be strong teams. I mean, they're both good teams coming
Yeah,
in.
but you don't get to come into the conference immediately talking shit about one of the founding teams. Fuck you.
Uh, I don't know. I didn't hear what they said, to be honest with you. So, I don't know.
Fuck you. And all your fans. Yes.
The interesting part is going to be when UT plays Texas. They're both UT and they both wear orange and white.
Yeah.
It's a little different shade of orange for Texas.
Yeah, Texas is like a burnt.
Yeah, it's more of a burnt orange.
Yeah.
But that's going to be
like your orange.
Like my orange.
Mm.
My orange is amazing.
And your color.
Yep, my orange is my amazing. But that's going to
I
be.
love that people understand that when I say it now. They understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law picked out a bracelet at a shop in Florida, and I went, "That's your color." And she was like, "Oh, that's my color." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was just so pleased that she knew what I was talking about. I didn't have to explain it.
Yeah, see,
because I've already gone down that road and had to explain it, and it was.
So
everybody thinks I'm crazy.
So she has the same color I have.
No. Hers is a rose, like a muted rose gold.
Oh, you said orange. You said she picked out a
yeah,
bracelet.
it's like a muted nude pink, almost like a rose gold, but not quite as gold as that. Like it's.
Well, you said because we were talking about orange, and you said that, so I just assumed you were talking about an orange bracelet.
No, it was pink-ish gold.
For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, go back and watch about 3 episodes back. You'll find out it was really.
Find
really
out I'm a psycho.
No, it's a whole thing. Who knew? Who knew? Wow, did you see? We're already 43 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's time to wrap it up, huh?
I guess so. I gotta go to my mom's.
What you doing down there doing?
I'm picking up a protection necklace.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had it's this whole thing. I don't want to get into all of it, but I had a dream last night that a demon was trying to possess the kids in my family. So
what was this demon's name?
I pulled an exorcist and I said, "Come into me," and I let it into me, and then I ran over to a piano and started bashing my face into it because my thought process was, if I kill myself, I kill the demon with me, and it can't get the kids. And then the demon took over, and it made me go outside. I fell to my knees, and my head like snapped up like this, and my jaw opened like crazy, like wider than it should. And as the demon was leaving me, I was screaming, and I woke up because I was making a noise in real life. I mean, the noise was like, but
Let's name a
it
house. I
scared
see ya.
me. Like I jumped out of bed and I was shaky and sweaty. Like nothing terrifies me more than like that's my biggest fear.
What caused this
I
to
don't know. I don't know. I have a theory, but I jumped out of bed and like I stood in the doorway, and my husband was on the couch and he looks over and he goes, "Bad dream."
you?
It's
Bad
like,
dream? Bad
mhm. So
dream?
then I went.
Or
I literally it scared me so bad that I went into my daughter's room and I was like, "Can you please come sage my room?" It was 1 a.m.
bad dream? Or bad meal?
I was like, "Can you please come sage my room?" And so she saged my room. She made me another protection jar, and I brought my grandmother's ashes in there. It scared me
Wow.
bad.
So what do you think caused it?
So
I know we're going
my
over, but we're okay.
my family have like I would not all of them, but a good number of them, enough to not be coincidental, have been experiencing some things like dark figures, um, feelings of dread, fear, um, heard things, seen things, felt things, and it all kind of started after we lost my grandmother. And now, like, the dream by itself, like, it wasn't just the dream, it was the feeling that it gave me and the feeling that lingered until my daughter cleansed the room. And two, maybe a week or two before we went on vacation, my husband saw something. He saw he said a face because we leave the door cracked just enough for the dog to be able to get out and get water in the middle of the night. But he saw like a head with long stringy hair poking through and looking at him, and it scared him to the point where he got up and patrolled the house with his firearm in his underwear. I have it on camera.
With its raccoon nano.
No, he was just walking around in his underwear with his gun, checking room to room, and then he went in and checked on Angela, made sure she was good, and then he checked on his dad and everything else. But um, he said, okay, well, I guess it might have been a dream. I don't know, but it scared him bad enough to make him get up out of bed, and
Wow.
so now I'm thinking it wasn't a dream. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I'm thinking there I heard of someone that had stayed at my grandparents' old house, which is where the stream took place, by the way, who had brought something into that house that they shouldn't have, and it had been seen there.
Hmm.
And so they saged the house and whatever. And then I guess after that happened was when it hit my mom first, and then my other sister, or my sister, was having issues before Brennan saw the thing. And now I'm having this demon dream that's in the house where we're thinking it originated.
Oh
So I don't
wow.
know if it's like tied to the family and it's like tormenting us because we are so disjointed and not, we're vulnerable because we're all angry and grieving and we're vulnerable.
Maybe this is something on our next show we may, if you want, we can talk a little more about it. Just kind of see
Yeah,
where everything's progressed.
we'll see how it goes this week.
Or we
But
may start again.
I am gonna start wearing my grandmother.
Or we may start again on TikTok.
Maybe we need to get ready for that. So
All right. Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up until next time.
goodbye, Richard.
Goodbye, Yuna.